ahead.
All right, Coach, we're going to start this off on the defensive end. I know that's where you want to start. First play of the ball game, Herb Jones with a deflection. You got the steal and the lay-in, and you really picked, really never let up with all the turnovers forced. Tremendous job defensively tonight.
Yes, Herb was fantastic tonight. 6 steals, deflections, rebounding the ball. He fueled our team defensively, and it allowed us to get out in transition. We had 29 fast break points, so really good effort from all of our guys defensively, holding this team to 43% from the field and 105 points. So solid by our guys.
By the way, they gave Herb another steal. He's got 7.
Oh, 7, okay.
Yep, so he set a career high tonight. JV, played really well against the Rockets last time out. It was almost like he continued what he did in that Houston win. Had 9 rebounds, almost had a double-double at halftime, but continued his post presence and just was really solid again tonight.
Yeah, JV, he was great for us. We wanted to feature him early by trying to throw the ball to him. He got Sengun in foul trouble. He was excellent, rebounding the ball, made good decisions from the post. And when we throw the ball to him, it allows us to get clean looks. Either he's scoring or he's kicking it out for teammates, and we're making good plays from there.
Zion had the block on Van Vliet, couple other defensive plays from him. I mean, how does that help y'all when he's being as active as he was on the defensive end tonight?
We're seeing Zion get better and better as the season progresses. And really on the defensive end, to your point, the blocks, the moving his feet, staying in front of guys, contesting shots. Love the fact that he had 10 assists. So he had an all-around solid game, but it's plays like that. You come over, block a shot, Herb getting steals, guys coming up with big rebounds, 50-50 balls. It allows us to get out in transition once again, and that's some of our best basketball.
Yeah, and then, his night offensively, how do you think he did finding that balance between I'm going to go score the ball and I'm going to get my teammates involved?
I thought he was great, and this is what happens when we put the ball in his hands, especially early. He's finding CJ, he's finding Trey, looking for Herb, JV, whomever it is. And then he has moments where, he sees something that he likes and he'll continue to attack it. But, when he's playing like this, he's tough to stop.
And just continue talking about Z. He's talked about how much he's looked forward to kind of being in these type of games, this point in the season. Yeah. How much do you kind of sense his excitement about just being a part of this stretch run and kind of showing the world what he's capable of?
He's definitely excited about the opportunity in front of us, and we're all excited to be in this position, and we're grateful to be in this position at this time of season, to have, Zion healthy, BI, pretty much the majority of our team. And now it's on us. It's on us to continue to work together and, look at areas that we're having success, and then the areas that we can improve, we try to get better in and keep stacking up wins.
And obviously, Herb's not going to get 7 steals every game, but when he's playing the way he plays tonight, the way he played tonight, do you think it's fair to say that you guys just are a different team when he's making an impact the way he did?
Herb brings it every night. Yeah, he really does on both ends of the floor. We're never questioning his effort, but when he has nights like tonight where he's guarding everybody and getting steals, getting deflections, getting blocks, rebounding the ball, shooting the ball well, we can see how important he is to this group.
Willie, the starters really carried the day, but they especially stood out in that third quarter where you guys came out really strongly.
Yeah.
What stood out to you most about those first few minutes of the third?
Well, the sense of urgency that the starters came out with to start the quarter. We've had a tendency to have leads and come out at halftime and sort of be flat, but it was a different mentality tonight. I thought CJ was great. He hit big shot after big shot. He made big play after big play. We talked about Jonas, and even though Trey struggled, he found it a little bit and stayed with it throughout the course of the game. But, kudos to those guys coming out in the third quarter with the mentality to dominate the game. We had a little lapse, and I talked to the group about it when they brought in their substitution guys. But we did what we needed to do to win the game, and that's important for us.
I've got another Herb question for you. It seems like Herb is becoming more vocal. We're seeing more emotion from him from the court. Is that almost an important step for him to elevate his game, to become kind of one of those key guys out there on the court that everybody can feel his emotion?
I believe it is, and that's the next step for our group. In general, is for all of those guys to be uncomfortable enough to be vocal and have those communications and conversations on the floor where they see something, they're talking about it before I even get to the huddle, and we're starting to see that more and more with this group, and that's the beauty in having a team, keeping them together for going on our third season.
Coach, your team's now 4-1 when BI doesn't play and 7-4 when Zion doesn't play. Just talk about how the role players are stepping up to a larger role to get victories even when one of your stars are out.
Well, it's a credit to the work that all of those guys put in, and Trey, Naji, Hawk, Matt, Jeremiah, Larry. We trust putting these guys on the floor. Dyson, who's out now, but we trust putting our guys on the floor, and they do it. Our coaches do a tremendous job working with them, watching film, and there's no letdown. You put guys on the floor, they understand the moment, and then what we ask for is effort. Give us effort, compete every play. We'll make some mistakes, but as long as we're doing those things, it usually comes out in the wash.
Did you get a sense of whether the chippiness late was just division rival type of thing or something in particular? And in general, how do you like the way I guess your guys rally or respond when that kind of stuff happens?
Yeah, it's part of the game, and I think it was a little frustration, based on the score. We were up pretty big, but for us, it's being the more mentally tough team in between the lines, and no matter what happens, we're not backing down from anybody, but we also we need to be smart in those moments, which we were.
Coach, I want to combine a couple of things that you referenced earlier. You talk about the mental toughness and also how the players step up when Brandon Ingram isn't in. It seems like every time you guys turn a corner, there's some kind of adversity to get through. Not having BI coming back from the All-Star break, but the team responds and plays the way it does. What does it say about the growth and development you guys are having?
Well, that's a part of an NBA season. Most teams at some point are going to deal with guys being out here and there, and when you face that type of adversity, we talk about it as a group, but those are preparation meet opportunity moments, and as long as guys are preparing, they're working with the coaches, we're getting on the floor in practice, and we're bringing it. That carryover into the game, we're seeing it, especially at this point in the season, and that's what we want to see from our group.
There was a moment in the second quarter where Herb, Jonas, and Zion had their own mini slam dunk contest. After being on the road for so long, what's it like feeling the energy here after something like that?
It's great. It's great playing in our building in front of our fans. I think our guys get pumped up to play here, and you can feel it. You can feel when Z's on a break, lob, Herb's coming down the middle, JV, the fans, they get us going. So it's always fun to play on our home floor.
And what's it like kind of getting that rhythm back after being on fire before the All-Star break and now having a week off and coming back, and clearly you guys didn't lose much of a step at all?
We had two really good practices before tonight's game, and I'm pleased with the carryover that we had tonight. This is a really good win coming out of the break, like you said, like you mentioned, and we want to continue to build from here.
Speaking on kind of building off of that, obviously, you had a long break, but now you're going into back-to-back games with Miami having a long break. How do you think you can bring the same energy or more tomorrow, especially with BI out?
Well, yeah, that's the challenge is being able to win a game like we did tonight, and then have a quick turnaround and be ready for a tough opponent coming in tomorrow night. And so we'll get off our feet and get back here tomorrow, watch film, we'll have a walkthrough, and get ready to go again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
How fun is this for you just to, be involved in games with stakes here down the stretch?
For me, just to be in this part of the season, I said it before All-Star break, it's just a blessing because I haven't been in this part of the season since my second year. So it's exciting also to be in games down the stretch where it means something. Is very exciting.
It's not many NBA games a guy has 7 steals. Just what do you think about what Herb was able to do defensively in this game?
If Herb is not first team All-NBA defense, I don't know what else someone can do to qualify for that. I mean, Herb's just amazing. His energy, effort, how he competes, and just the joy he plays the game with is very infectious. And I'm glad he's my teammate.
And when he's being as disruptive as he was tonight, how much does that change the team with the way y'all play so well in transition and all that kind of thing?
I mean, Herb is an elite transition finisher. I mean, 1 second he's not there, then the next second he's right where he needs to be for a layup, a dunk, even on the defensive end, a block, steal. I mean, he's just all over the court.
And you talked about wanting to be a part of these big games and these moments coming off of All-Star where you obviously didn't participate. How much are you kind of looking forward to kind of reintroducing yourself, I guess, to the world and showing what you can do in these games?
Got to win. At this point, I got to win. It ain't much to speak on in regards to that, except win. I think that's the only way to show people.
And how much did you kind of feel the crowd after that stretch where y'all had the 3 straight dunks and you had the alley-oop? How much did you kind of just feel the energy in that moment?
Who was it? Was it Herb that started off, and then JV? Because when Herb, I think I was at the table when Herb got the poster, and then I was on the court when JV got the dunk, and I was like, all right. So when I was in the right spot for the lob, the energy was there, and I love moments like that because, it's a timeout. You get to go back to the bench, celebrate with your teammates, and just say, hey, keep your foot on the throttle. Let's keep the energy up.
Z, speaking of Herb the poster, have you ever seen him, or what do you think of him being more vocal, showing his emotions more out there on the court?
That's who Herb is every day, not in just the game, but in practice. He's really grown into who he's supposed to be, and almost feels like there's no limit for Herb, and you just see him just getting better year by year, day by day, and it's, like I said before, I'm glad he's my teammate.
Z, we saw you shoot a couple of shots away from the restricted area. I think there was like 4 or 5. Do you feel more comfortable getting those shots up now?
Yeah, I'm getting very comfortable with it because I got to mix it up, especially with how teams are going to try to guard me and, we make the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be more physical. I don't think refs are really going to call any fouls, so I just got to get myself ready for that.
See, fans are noticing that after victories, you're running on Twitter, finding that Retro Pals hit the anthem tweet, and you're liking it. Just from the fan perspective, how did you come across that, and what do you think about that close fan-player interaction like that?
So, I'll get on Twitter after the game, to go see Larry's, game recap. And I guess it's on my home page for recommended. And I remember one time I watched the video, I was like, that ain't bad. And I think some games went by, and I said, you know what? I'm going to start, liking this video. So I think one of the games, I think it was right before All-Star break, it was dope. They put the Thanos moment where he, and then played it. It's dope. It's just because you see the whole team. And the energy is like that in the locker room before the games and after the game. So that's why I really like that video.
You guys were on the road for almost 3 weeks. What's it like just getting back onto your home floor and playing in front of your fans?
Man, I love road games, but it did feel like we were just away for a long time. So just to be back at the crib and, to feel that energy, it's all love.
And we saw a few moments where you were scoring on, I guess this is right in front of the bench where you would score, turn and talk to the competitive games, but I guess what kind of brought that out of you tonight?
I got to bring the energy. I can't wait for the energy to come to me. I gotta bring it. So, my teammates know how I am. So if I can do anything to get us going, energy-wise, I'm gonna do it.
For a playoff caliber team, when you pass the All-Star break, is there a change in mentality at all in that locker room?
Absolutely. We know what the stakes are. Every team, West or East, wants to position themselves in the best way to have home court advantage or to not be in a play-in game, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to position ourselves to be in a good spot.
Do you feel like going up against a really physical defender like Dylan Brooks even brings that much more energy out of you, gets you more?
Yeah, me and him, we talk on the court, and I mean, I've been telling him since he was in Memphis. I said I like competing against you. He's physical, but he also he stays true to who he is. No matter what people see on Twitter and how much they talk about him, he stays true to who he is. And whenever we compete, it ain't no bad blood. It's just straight competing. You guys enjoy your night. Get a shot at the Gatorade, man.
He did it on purpose? He's a Gatorade guy. I'm not. They ain't paying.
It's not every game that guy gets 7 steals. Just what do you think about what Herb was able to do on defense tonight?
If he don't make first team defense, somebody need fired, man. He's great defensively, gotten so much better on offense. A menace in transition, finishes well around the basket, shooting 40 from 3. I mean, he does a little bit of everything for us, and I think you got to see some of that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, did you like just the team defense overall? It seemed like it was kind of everyone tonight.
Yeah, we had some time to practice, to really just work on our game plan, discipline, understand what we want to accomplish these last 27 games, and I thought we got off to a great start. We'd like to finish the game better. I got to do a better job of staying ready, until there's zeros on the clock. But I think all in all, I like the way we played. I like the way we competed. And we gave ourselves a chance to win against a good team in the first night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, since you came here to New Orleans, you talked about how, the young guys on this team need to embrace being more vocal, showing their emotions more. We saw that from Herb tonight. We saw that from Zion tonight. How much do you kind of see that as a sign of just maturation for them and just being just more comfortable in their skin on the court?
Yeah, I mean, Herb talks more than y'all think. In general, and so does Z. Z talks a lot too. Y'all just don't see it. So for them to be able to be demonstrative out there on the court, vocal, obviously celebrating, good plays, whether that's dunks, finishes around the basket, block shots, or just celebrating your teammates' success. I think that's a sign of growth and just comfortability. Everybody's just getting more comfortable, getting more time together on the court, playing later into seasons together. I think all those things help.
And we talked to you before about when you flip the calendar past All-Star, how everything changes. What do you think, in what ways do you think the focus changes for good teams when you get to this point in the season?
I think this sense of urgency has to increase. Every game matters. We've been in the playing game a few times, so we understand how one game can kind of shift the season, literally. So, being able to beat teams under 500, winning games at home is important. And even though we got 5 and 7, I feel like we should be able to compete at a high level and give ourselves a chance to win these games. And that'll carry over as we get closer and closer to finishing the regular season.
CJ, how much did you like the start of you guys' your guys' third quarter, first few minutes? That's been a kind of a trouble for you guys for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we did a great job of just giving Z the ball and getting out the way. So it was the game plan, and it worked. It worked pretty well. Got some stops when we needed to. I think we fouled a little too much in that third quarter. They got in the bonus quick, but outside of that, I think we defended well in the half court. Tried to limit their second chance points and did what we needed to do to get a win.
CJ, in the second quarter, Herb, Zion, and Jonas had their own little slam dunk contest kind of back to back to back. rocking like that after you've been on the road for so long? What does that feel like?
It's amazing. The fans have been great all year. Continue to support us, even though we had some really great wins and some not so great losses. I think they've been consistent, and obviously we've had some spectacular plays throughout this season. And that was a great stretch of really good basketball and defense that led to transitional offense. And I think Z capped it with a lob, which was when they ended up calling a timeout. Big momentum swing in the game. JV was great all night. Easy double-double for him tonight. Just kind of got whatever he wanted, established his presence down low, got Sengun in foul trouble, and made the game very easy for us.
In the past couple years, I think a thing we've seen with you guys a lot of times is you're good when everything's together, but one of BIZ's not there and a lot changes. And this year we've seen you guys win more often when one or even both of those guys aren't playing. What do you think's kind of changed this year that's allows you guys to be more successful in these type of games?
I think everybody just has continued to figure out ways to get better collectively. I think we've gone long periods with one of them not playing, and I think you kind of figure out offense, game flow, game plan discipline, and how to be effective individually and how we can be effective as a team. And I think that's the sign of a good team, being able to win games, even with guys being out.
CJ, HBCU Legacy Bowl is playing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the thoughts about the NBA, hasn't been a HBCU kid drafted since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think can help them to be able to develop and catch the eyes of more of the NBA scouts and executives?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think, I went to a small school in Lehigh. I think the scouts have historically done a pretty good job of finding talent, so I think it's just about continuing to put more focus and spotlight on it. Hopefully they continue to get more TV games and better caliber players continue to choose to go to HBCU schools. I never was recruited by HBCU schools, so I didn't have a chance. I wasn't recruited really by anybody, to be honest, so my situation was different. But I think there's been more of a point of emphasis on it, more of a spotlight, and, Broco was one of my good friends, so he went to HBCU, and he always talks about his experiences and stuff, and I think that's cool. People need to share their experiences more often, and I think it's only a matter of time before someone is drafted from HBCU.
Thank you.